Hi everybody, welcome back to my console beginner's guide to server modding, and in this video I wanted to kind of show you the difference between the console servers for PlayStation and Xbox and what you get with a PC server, and kind of showing you what we don't have access to on console compared to PC yet. I mean, we might start to get access to, and it also may well help you understand kind of how the servers work. So what we're going to do is, if we go into one of our servers and you go into the file browser, so this is what you see on a console server at the moment as of late January 2022. It just starts off with this file structure. You can't really see anything else. However, on a PC server, if you were doing the same thing and you had access to all of the files and everything, you would see this. So what you're looking at here is, this is the file structure of a DayZ server that actually runs on my local PC. And you can actually set one of these up for yourself as well. If you've got a laptop or a PC that can just about run PC DayZ, and you've bought DayZ on Steam, you have access for free to the DayZ server, which you can download and run locally. And I'll put a link to a file video that shows you how to do that in the description below this video. So what you're seeing here is, actually, see the MP missions there? So this is what is actually in the server, and that is what that's what we get to see on console. See, there's like a whole chunk missing. Now, the reason why we don't have access to all of this is because all of this lot is very, very powerful, and it enables, in order to be able to run DayZ on consoles, Bohemia Interactive, the developers behind DayZ, have to make sure that they follow the rules that Xbox and PlayStation gives them in terms of the different sort of customization options people could have or could get into. And so that's why it has to be locked down on console. Now, they're slowly opening it up, but that's kind of the reason. So if we look down here, so what do we get? So the first important file is DayZ server x64. So that's the application file. That's the program that runs the server and sits there and kind of sorts everything out. So obviously we can't see that. And then you've got the Windows batch file. Now, this can have lots of different names, but I've called my start zombie admin. So if we have a look at that file here, basically what this file does is, this tells the server to start, and on PC it tells it to start with certain mods if you want to, but it also tells it where the config file is and where various files should go. So it's not particularly that important, apart from coming with tells where the mods to start. However, one of the ones that is important that we kind of have access to on console is the DayZ server DZ.config, that one. Now, we don't have access to that directly in the file browser, but where we do have access to it is in your settings. So, in your settings where you can put in your password and your server time multiplier, and whether you log damage and all that sort of stuff, and disable container damage, all that sort of stuff. That is included. A lot of it is included in the server DZ.config. But it's just that Nitrado kind of pull bits out of it, and then when you save your settings, it pushes it into the server DZ.config. So that's kind of where that goes. So if we start to kind of dig a little bit deeper, so if we go inside the DayZ missions folder on our console servers, again, then we get DayZ offline.churnrus. You would see DayZ offline.enoch plus if we had Livonia, and other maps if they were available. And then if we go down a little bit further, we get into the file browser, and you'll be very familiar with this. Now, what you get on PC servers, if you dig inside the missions folder, you get a very important file called init.c, and we don't have access to that, unfortunately. But what the init.c has, among other things, it has the bits that set out the gear, the clothing, and the accessories that you have when you start as a new character. Now, Adam Franku, the lead developer of DayZ, has said that this is something that they're working on this year in 2022, and we will get access to somehow of being able to change the starting loadout for players. And what you'll probably find is we won't get access to the init.c file in its entirety like this. What we'll probably get access to it in a similar way that we get in our settings, or more likely it will be like in the CFG gameplay.json file that, again, you're probably familiar with, where there will be an extra, like an override file that we will then create and say, okay, I want my players to start with an M416 and a suppressor and 40 rounds and a couple of mags and a can of beans, that sort of thing. So that's quite exciting. Now, obviously, on PC, when you have got access to the init.c, you can customize it and you can make it so that people can start with stuff. So again, these are kind of hidden to us on console. Now, probably the thing that's we're all most looking forward to, and if we get it in some way or another, will be really, really cool, is if we go to the top of the server, is these files here at the top. So remember, you can't see this part of the server on console, and this is where the Steam mods are. So what these are, like @CF, @DBO_Raptors, and @ZombieAdminTools, these are the extras that you can load into PC DayZ to sometimes radically change the game. In this case, DBO Raptors adds dinosaurs to DayZ, which is pretty cool, isn't it? And ZombieAdminTools, that allows me to fly around the map and spawn things in and do all sorts of cool stuff. And CF or Community Framework kind of pulls all of that stuff together. So as you can see, that is kind of hidden. We can't get access to that. And if you're not kind of familiar with the way that this works, is DayZ is tied into Steam, which is the kind of the client for lots and lots of PC games. And so it's like the store where you go to, a bit like the Xbox store on your console or the PlayStation store. Steam is kind of that for PC. There's others, but Steam, you could argue, is the main one. But it's not only just the storefront; it has the workshop. And lots of games, if they're workshop compatible, will have a section in the workshop where there are hundreds, well, actually there are thousands of mods. So you can subscribe to these mods, and then you can install them on your server. And then when players come to your server, they have to have subscribed to these, but the DayZ launcher can do it all automatically for you. And that means you can have other stuff like Dump Grass Building Fortifications mod, where you can put planks across windows, which is really cool. What we got? Recipe DayZ Dog, one of my favourite mods. You can have a doggy going around with you. Different maps like Essica, DayZ Raft, which is pretty cool as well. And when you've subscribed to those, they get downloaded to the local version of DayZ on your PC. And then when you want to run a server, you copy them over to the server files like this. So maybe one day on console, what you'll see here above and around where it says missions, you'll see @DayZ Dogs, DayZ Raptors, so you can have all that sort of stuff on. So there we go. So that's kind of the differences between PC servers and console servers. They're the kind of bits that we're missing, and the bits that hopefully we'll get access to. I don't think we'll ever get full access to it, in the fact that you'll be able to see a server like you can in my file explorer here, but you will definitely have some sort of access to init.c. And who knows, one day, if there is the impetus behind it, there could be an official DayZ mod store, say as part of the PlayStation store, or part of the Xbox store. Unfortunately, I don't think DayZ is really big enough to do that in terms of the resources that Bohemia Interactive give to DayZ and the money it makes for PlayStation or Xbox. Now, this has been done before for other games. So, for example, Fallout on Xbox, maybe PlayStation as well. There are official mods that you can download for Fallout 4 for console. But whether we'll get this. But what I do know is that Adam, the lead developer behind DayZ, Adam Franco, is committed to bringing all he can to console within the constraints they have. And he's already shown that with his imagination and with his team, they brought things like being able to build anywhere. They brought the toxic gas zones, and all this fun stuff. Being able to control the weather, being able to have custom structures. He's brought all that already. And as I say, I had a conversation with him in his stream where he said, "Yeah, we're definitely going to bring the ability for console server owners to customize the loadout spawns of their players." So there we go. Again, a little bit of an inside baseball sort of video, a bit in the grass, but I thought it may be good to give you a little bit of a background on the server structures and the differences between console server structures and PC structures. Although behind the scenes they are the same, it's just that on console, yet we just don't get access to that stuff. Brilliant. Now remember, if you've got any questions about this, please put the questions down below this video in the comments section, because I use those questions to drive content to my channel by giving me ideas, because honestly there are no stupid questions. If you're thinking of a question, I guarantee there's hundreds if not thousands of people thinking that same question as well. If you found the video useful, hit like. If you want to see more of the same, press subscribe, and I will of course see you again soon.